What's up everyone, I'm Marcus, Managing Director and Senior Mentor at Logikfx. Now you probably stumbled upon this site wondering why you should even enroll in our investment academy. Well, before I actually do that, I probably should give you some information about who I am and why I think I'm actually qualified to actually make academy in the first place. Well, firstly, I started trading around 8 years ago, and when I started trading, I obviously got inclined into the industry. I went on to study a master's degree in actuarial science, and then I actually landed a job in a $60 billion fund. Then during that time, I actually met a network of professional traders, and we started to think, why don't we make this service, the huge discrepancy or gap, available for normal people and retail traders? And that's where Logikfx came from. And then that sort of naturally led us to have a large academic background in the field and a profitable portfolio over that time, and think for ourselves, well, we can do it for ourselves, and there's a huge gap in the market, and this is why this academy actually exists. Now, that's enough about me. Why is this academy for you? And is it even for you? So you'll find that now I've made a presentation, and let's get right to it. So you've just learned a little bit about me. Let's actually go through then if you are actually suitable for this academy and what actually makes Logikfx different from other educators. Well, firstly, let's go with, is the academy for you? It's a lot to do with your objective here. Now, as long as your objective is learning how to make money with your own money, then Logikfx Investment and Trading Academy is actually a viable option. Now, if you're just sitting there under the impression that trading will make you rich in a few months, it's literally a one-way ticket to capital destruction. Now, this academy isn't for people with that shortcut mentality. It teaches a professional, long-term, systematic approach to trading that is suitable and sustainable for the rest of your life. Now, that's whether Logikfx doesn't exist in the future or not. So everything that you learn here will be a skill set that you gain for life. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme which literally convinces you to quit your job or quit your 9 to 5 and that you can earn 10 grand a month, which is the commonly perpetuated thing you see online. We're here to tell you that's impossible. And within the first few sort of lessons in our academy, we actually prove to you exactly how drawing an income from trading is impossible, but actually becoming wealthy is very realistic as long as you compound your wealth and you see your account as something you can invest in. A little bit complex for this video, but I'm giving you a taste and idea of what makes us an ultimate trading academy. Now, we are actually traders ourselves, and we follow our systematic process, and it's around the lines of a global macro approach, which is actually used day in, day out within hedge funds and investment banks. Now, if you're looking to get into the investment banking industry or work in a hedge fund, this is the approach that you will be learning, and it's the approach that we use for your duration that you're there. So what you'll need to learn how to do is actually generate quality investing and trade ideas, which will teach you how to actually filter those ideas, and then how to actually turn those ideas into hard-earned profitable positions into your trading account. Now, I've outlined on this presentation 2 key areas. Now, it's for you if you want to make money using your own money consistently over your lifetime, which makes sense, right? Why would you go in the financial markets if you didn't want to make money? The next point, using a systematic trading approach that professional traders in hedge funds are actually using, which is over here. So why does that matter? Well, if you were going to play football or basketball or tennis, you would obviously look to emulate the best players in that sport. Now, hedge fund managers are the people that are closely aligned with their goals, so they use their own money to make money through trading financial markets, and they're also the best performers. Contrary to what you may read in the newspaper, who don't know what the hell they're talking about, they're just trying to get readers. Hedge funds are the best players in this game, so you need to be understanding what they are doing and emulating their approach. And Logikfx has the perfect grounds and history and background in academia and professional institutions to actually provide that gap for you. And what we've done is sort of bridge the gap, simplify it, make it applicable to the normal person so that you can actually go out now and trade, but still keep your job and still keep that solid source of income. Now, the third point, you obviously need a drive to be wealthy, but not tomorrow, in 10, 15 or 30 years, because that's how trading and investing works successfully. It works with the mentality of getting rich slowly. And the last point that I've mentioned here, no previous knowledge or financial background is actually necessary. The reason that I've mentioned this is because you don't actually need a sort of mathematics degree or an economics degree to actually enroll in this academy. The way we've designed it is that it actually starts from the very basics. So it will teach you the mathematics that you need specific to trading. It will teach you the economics and macroeconomics and microeconomics that you need to be successful at trading. And that will be in the foundation section. So there's 4 modules here. Then during that, once you have a sort of understanding, you've got up the curve, you've learned the things that are really necessary and cut out all the other stuff. We move on to exactly how you use that knowledge now to work out the volatility of the market, how to choose your assets, what to trade, how do you generate ideas, why do you even use time series analysis, how can you maximize your upsides whilst capping your downside, make sure that you can never ever lose any money over the long run. These are sort of things that professionals go through. So we get you up the curve and then we show you exactly how to make money over the long term, exactly how we do, exactly how everyone else in the professional industry is doing. Now, this academy is not for you if you want to get rich tomorrow. Now, I've mentioned this a couple times. That sort of agenda is really appealing to many people and for obvious reasons, but it simply doesn't exist. If sort of uneducated people like you're seeing online who are advertising that you can quit your job with no sort of understanding or education whatsoever, follow a few signals or follow a few patterns on a chart, which I've noted here, that you can actually turn insane profits from the market. Simply doesn't work like that. And if it did, surely the biggest players in the market would follow those methods, but they don't. So you need to start thinking objectively here and start thinking, how are those people that you're seeing advertised to you, how are they making money? Do they have agreements with brokerages? That actually means they make money from you trading. So in fact, they don't care if you can trade well or not. They just care if you put money into the brokerage account that they recommend. These sort of questions is what should be running through your head when you're looking to learn to trade. Now, Logikfx has none of those conflicts of interest, and we don't endorse this get rich quick mentality. And the third point is this academy isn't for you if you're not willing to put in the hard work. The material in here is as simple as it possibly can be, but it can't be too simple. There's a degree here where you don't want to lose the integrity of the information. So we've translated it into ways where you bring yourself up the curve and then you can learn everything. And we've provided Excel templates. We've provided everything you could possibly need to be successful within the financial markets. But it's up to you to actually use it and start applying it. We can't sit there and hold your hand and click the trade button and do the analysis on the weekends for you and tell you not to go out with your friends and sit at home and say, actually, I'm going to spend this extra £100 and deposit into my account to maximize my sort of returns. These are things you would have to do. So if you're not willing to put in that hard work, there's actually no point in you even trading the financial markets at all. Because if you don't put the hard work in, 100% chance that you will lose money. And I've actually done a podcast on this with Matty, my business partner, and another senior mentor and chief marketing officer at Logikfx. So it's really important that you have the correct mindset. So what do you actually get then? Well, in the Logikfx Academy, it will include all of the tools and resources that you actually require to become consistently profitable. So the first one that we have over here, we have an in-depth video tutorial series on trading the financial CFD market. Now, CFD is a contract for difference, so it allows you to leverage your money, and this is available in the United Kingdom, Europe, and Asia on currencies, equities, commodities, bonds, and pretty much any asset that you wish to trade. Now, the video series that's available right now in your portal is the currency trading market one, because it is the one that allows you to use global macro analysis, and it covers all types of analysis. So once you learn how to trade currencies, you're going to be analyzing equities in order to come up with your currency decisions, analyzing commodities, understanding the bond market, and understanding an overall global outlook. So it's the best market to start learning from because everything else fits in place. And when you analyze one market, you must be analyzing all the others anyway. So even though there's only one video series available, there's a lot of content to learn there. And when you enroll, you get automatic access to the future educational material. And it'll take you maybe a year to actually get through this if you spend your time doing it. Now, the videos will range from 1 to 3 hours long each, and they will literally take you from no knowledge with no financial background to understanding the core mathematics and economic skills, as I mentioned earlier. Then actually build upon those until you could literally be mistaken for a professional trader in a prop firm or in an investment bank or a hedge fund, or even a professional asset manager. The stuff you're going to be learning here are literally the exact methods that those guys are using. So if you got a graduate job and you were to sit into JP Morgan, for example, and in the first 2 years, you'd be learning the first 2 modules in this. Then the last 2 modules will be learning in the second few years after that. And then you'll actually have a control function in the firm and start controlling their capital, start trading on their behalf to make sure that you make money for the firm. That's the sort of material and the quality of the material that you're getting here. So literally, what we've created for you is professional knowledge, but then translated it so that you can actually use it and apply it around a full-time job and be a self-sufficient, profitable trader alongside a busy lifestyle, because that's what counts. Retail traders can't trade exactly like professionals, but they can use the same systematic framework that has been adapted to fit around a busy lifestyle. Now, the second point is that we provide you with professional trader Excel spreadsheets. Why does this matter? Well, they are fully functional and have real-life application-driven centric sort of templates. So what it allows you to do is understand how the professionals are profitably analyzing the market, and you can start to backwards engineer and reverse engineer the sheets to work out, oh, okay, this is an understanding of exactly how it works. I can easily create this myself. And that's the whole point. We're providing it here. And throughout the video series, we do a bunch of tutorials on how you do volatility assessments, how you analyze the markets, how you analyze economies, how you analyze stocks, how you analyze the bonds and the currency and the money supply to actually come up with solid, strong trade ideas. Now, we've done all this hard work for you, so it's very easy for you to just follow it step by step now. And it especially focuses you towards being functional on the live market. So we're not just giving you theory here. The whole academy is designed to be functional so that you can start trading as soon as you've completed it. You'll have all the skill sets that you actually need. Now, the third thing that we offer is a virtual trading desk. Now, this is what you'll get as a member and enrolled in the Investment and Trading Academy. You'll get a community and essentially allows you to be fully immersed into a sophisticated trading environment. It's exactly how it would be in a hedge fund or an investment bank, except for because you're working from home, you won't be sitting next to each other on a desk, so you can still communicate with your peers through Logikfx, but it just means it will be on an online virtual basis. And we feel like this is really important to provide. It allows you to bounce ideas off each other and make sure that you haven't missed anything out. So if you have an idea and someone else notices actually you've missed an important variable out, then obviously it's better to work in a community. The fourth point is that we have institutional trading technology. Now, these are the same automated systems that you actually find in the top institutions, and they're designed to make trading efficient. Now, if you're actually new to the market, which if you're watching this video is highly likely, but if you started trading before and you found no success, you still have an idea of what black box systems are and etc. Well, this isn't a black box system, and if you haven't traded before and you don't know what that is, the technology here will absolutely be of no value to you. It doesn't give you signals. It does none of that bullcrap that everyone else is trying to sell you. So until you've learned how to trade like a professional, you won't actually appreciate the value behind the automation. And the automation is of endogenous analysis of economies. And what that means is we look at an economy on a standalone basis, look at all the factors, and then try to score that, and try to score if the economy is growing or shrinking. And then from that, we can see how that will impact the industries, the currencies, and how it will impact on a relative basis between economies that trade together. And that's really important, especially if you're looking to successfully trade the markets. Well, regardless of all of that, I think it's important to inform you that it's available as part of your annual subscription and is updated weekly. So even if you don't know why that is valuable yet, once you understand how to trade professionally, you'll understand the value behind it. It will give you economic evaluations, market positionings of other professional hedge funds, so it tells you if there's enough liquidity in the market to make your idea work, and essentially it all follows in our Logic Strategy trading model, which you'll learn more about in the tutorials. Now, the fifth point is that we have in-person group tutorials and application-driven classes. So we hold in-person group classes and tutorials that actually help solidify theories that you've learned in the video series. Now, we found that this is very popular because a lot of people, of course, like learning online. On the other hand, some people like to ask questions and see if they're applying the knowledge correctly. And this is exactly what these classes are for. And these will be scheduled throughout the year at different locations. You can just register to each event and turn up, and we'll just say we're going to be going over videos 7 to 10 on this day, so turn up, and it's absolutely free of charge. It's part of your membership, and these are the benefits that you get here. So they will be purely application driven, so there'll be a prerequisite, so you would have to watch the videos before you come, because we don't want people coming and we're having to teach that to them. We want to be going straight into, right, how do we apply this now? How can we apply it real time and start seeing what sort of ideas we can come up with on the day of the class. So that's really important, and obviously to allow you to ask questions. And that's pretty much the top 5 things. Now, one of the last options here, the 6th one, is an option to be mentored and sort of accelerate your learning. Now, if you want to get yourself up the curve and reach a professional level faster as a student in the academy, you can actually apply for mentorship. Now, this purely depends on my availability and other mentors that we have working for Logikfx. We generally only take 1 to 3 students every 6 months. So this is a very popular option. There is a lot of demand for this, but we have to be strict because there's only limited time when we're actively trading ourselves and trying to maintain the Logikfx business model, because at the end of the day, this is a business for us. So mentoring is available, but it's on application basis. And the aim of it is actually to get you up the curve faster. So within 3 months, you can literally sit down with us and we'll go through online video calls, maybe meet in person, and practically get you to a professional level without you having to worry that you don't understand anything. We're there to be supportive of you and make sure that you reach your goal of being a successful trader. Now, mentoring isn't you sitting there and just taking ideas from me or anybody else who's going to be mentoring you through Logikfx. What it's there for is to give you the skill set and show you the skill set on how you can do it for yourself. There's no good me telling you ideas, because if I, after 3 months, decide to shut Logikfx down for some reason, I go senile for some reason, then it's useless to you. We want you to all be self-sufficient when you go through this academy, and that's exactly what it's designed to do. So all in all, the academy is obviously jam-packed with valuable resources to aid your journey to becoming a long-term profitable trader, and that's for life. We're not about that get-rich-quick hogwash that you see online. We're here to give you a sort of real insight on how to really profit from the market and how to do it sustainably, and the returns are absolutely realistic once you've learned the proper methods. And it's really to do with your own objective and the approach that you actually wish to take to the market. The first thing, is your objective to make money using your own money? Now, if you got to this far in the video, I'm assuming that it is. Then is the approach that you take, the second thing, to learn sustainable long-term approach with true wealth in mind? Do you want to wait for money and get rich slowly, or do you want to get rich tomorrow? Now, if your objective is to not make money at all, you shouldn't be here in the first place. And if you want to get rich tomorrow, then you might as well close this browser tab, because this is not what the academy will teach you. It's going to teach you how to become wealthy in 10, 15 to 20 years, provided that you can apply these theories properly, which you should be able to once you've completed the academy. Now, Logikfx is the only place to actually affordably emulate successful professional traders and become consistently profitable in your trading. So if that is your goal, this will be an enabler to potentially fast track yourself to a career as a professional trader, if that's what you're looking for, or if you're not that way inclined, will actually allow you to profit alongside your main job. Now, you don't need to be educated. You don't need to, I say educated. Of course, you need to be educated. You don't need to be of a financial background per se. So you can be a literal complete beginner, or someone who considers them an experienced retail trader, for example, but found no success because you're using techniques that you found for free online, which clearly don't work. And we can prove it in the academy because we've done candlestick analysis to work out that they have no longevity and no edge in the market. Their expected value is actually lower than using fundamentals and real fundamental driven ideas. So if that's you, then that's completely fine. This academy will cater for you also and sort of show you the light at the end of the tunnel. So, you could have learned stuff online, losing money, not working out, and you've sort of used those free resources. And it's nothing new to me or nothing new to any of the mentors in Logikfx to see students who've actually just been burnt thinking that the free information that brokers give them is sufficient to trade. All that is information sufficient enough to allow you to kick the button, something a monkey could do. It's not the actual trading itself. You'll find 95% of your time is not actually looking at the price chart itself. It's doing outside research about economies and companies if you're trading equities, and then looking if the price matches the value. So who then would actually enroll in the academy and become profitable traders? It's somebody like yourself who can successfully understand everything, and we've given you all the resources to make that as straightforward and linear as possible, as long as you put the time and effort in. And it will allow you to sort of get a job, an investment bank or a hedge fund. If you can show your profitable track record after 12 months, which this academy you should easily be able to do. Now, the content here is worth sort of more than a degree. If you can show that you have a positive alpha, which you'll learn about, or that you have a track record where you're consistent with lower volatility than the market, but still outperforming it, you will get a job straight away if you can prove that to your employer. So this is the sort of integrity and strength of the information here. Just trying to get across to you is that it's not like, lightweight stuff that you can find online. This is real professional information. Now, if the goal is to make money, which majority of you should be, you're not in here to lose, then this is literally the only place where you'll get proper, real life, real time driven tutorials to achieve profitable trading. You're actually going to basically learn the strategies and techniques that you probably never knew existed, because no one online is going to teach you this stuff for free, and that's guaranteed. That's because there's an agenda behind why they teach you high impact fast day trading techniques, because it makes them more money. No one wants to teach you to get rich slowly because it makes them less money. But at Logikfx, we don't care about that. We're active traders. We're just bridging that gap of information because we know there's a gap in the market, and this business model for us seems viable because it's a win-win. Our students get valuable information and learn to be profitable, and we get the subscription fee annually to obviously supply our trading account as an income strategy. So it's a win-win on both ways. Now, the people that sort of think that learning the online free resources is sufficient, they don't actually understand economic themselves, and they're actually lazy because they're actually focusing on sort of technical analysis and patterns, and sort of get lured into this idea that you can focus on one or two things and that will tell you the outcome of an asset like a currency or a stock that is actually based on multiple, even thousands of variables. So you can't just look at one or two things. It's just not going to work like that. And that pretty much is everything that you get in the academy as soon as you enroll. So if you go on our website and you click enroll now, this is everything that you get. You get instant access to the videos, instant access to the virtual trading desk, and then instant access to upcoming in-person tutorials. So let's finish up with some frequently asked questions to hopefully see what we can answer for you. So the first one, how much money do I need to trade or invest? Now, I actually get this asked a lot. Marcus, how much should you start trading with? How much should I start trading with? Well, whilst you're learning, you should be putting your money into an index fund. It's pretty straightforward, right? So the way I look at it is, it's not how much money, there's no like arbitrary value per se. It's how much are you earning? And at least half of that should be invested. And that's the way I look at it. Then obviously that accumulates over time. So if you're earning $5,000 a month, $2,500 a month should be sitting there ready to put in a portfolio. Now, whether that portfolio is your trading account or an index fund or a mutual fund or a low risk bond, for example, is completely up to you. Now, whilst you're learning, I suggest you putting it into an index fund so it performs at market rate. So you'll perform at 10% annual return. Makes sense. So this is actually covered in the academy also. But in short, you should wait till you've fully learned and understood proper portfolio management and techniques before you even trust yourself to trade. There's none of this sort of scenario where you can learn a little bit and start trading and you get a little bit of reward. That doesn't exist. You need to know everything and it needs to work together in a systematic process. Then you can trust yourself to start trading because you know how to protect your downside so you'll never lose money. So until that point, you should still be investing, but not into your own personal portfolio because you don't know how to trade yet. You should just put it into a fund and let those managers deal with it, or let the market deal with it, so you can perform at a consistent rate whilst you're learning. So that way there's no pressure on you to learn really fast, so you can learn at your own pace. And secondly, you're still going to be getting returns. Then once you have the knowledge, your actual leveraged trading account, which you'll learn about how to maximize through the academy, that sort of literally can start being capitalized by money that you've already got in your investing. So you can start channeling funds now from your index account into your leverage funds account once you can sort of prove to yourself that you know how to trade and you're profitable trading. One of the rookie mistakes of people entering this market is that they're trying to start off with a $100 account, see how it goes, lose all the money straight away. Rookie mistake forces you to over leverage and you're basically essentially over borrowing money from the broker here. So if you put down $100, start trading with $1 million and it moves by 0.0001% or whatnot, or 0.001%, you're pretty much wiped out. Your $100 is gone and the markets move by 1% in a day. So you can see here how trading with such low capital in your account is pretty damn stupid. So you want to be waiting and make sure that when your initial deposit occurs, it's no less than around $10,000 margin. Now this is just a rough number. I'm not advising you here, but anything less than that, you're going to struggle in terms of minimizing the amount of money you're borrowing. And we actually cover why it's important not to leverage too much, because that is detrimental to your account and hinders your growth. So if you put any less than that, you're just asking for trouble. Then as you prove yourself over a 12-month period that you are more profitable than your index benchmark, so wherever your other investments are, and you can beat their performance, you can regularly feed into your trading account every month and just keep depositing more money. Because if you can consistently prove to yourself you can make 15-20% annually, it makes complete sense to just keep compounding and growing and scaling into the asset. And that asset there is your trading account, a trading account that trades multiple assets. So if you're making anywhere over 20% annually, it makes complete sense to keep injecting that capital into your account. Now let's move on to the second question. How much money can I expect to make? Well, I've actually just answered this. The Standard & Poor's, the S&P benchmark rate, which is essentially the benchmark of the United States economy, so that's how fast the companies in America are growing essentially, over the past 100 odd years, that has been 10% annually, smoothed. And by smoothed, I mean over that time, they just smooth the returns to see what the average return would have been over that 100 years. And that's 10%. And any sort of drawback or drawdown in the price is recovered after around 11 months on average. So it gives you an idea then of, if you actually go home now or go open another tab and Google S&P returns since 1800s and whatnot, you'll actually see how it's just an exponential curve going up. So that's the market rate, and you can actually perform at that without doing any work. So that's your sort of barometer for success. That's your benchmark. So that's what you can achieve without doing any work. So what can you achieve if you did? So your aim as a trader then is to try and outperform this whilst maintaining minimum downside volatility. So it's easy to outperform the S&P over the short term. Any old fool can do it. You can go gamble tomorrow on roulette and put £100 and you can double up straight away. That's 100%. So you've outperformed the S&P. But to consistently do it over a long period of time, that's what really counts. And that's all professionals care about. Retail traders don't seem to have that forward-thinking mindset, which you actually need to be a trader. A few fancy words there, but essentially what I'm trying to say to you is you should expect to make around 15 to 20% after you've gained all the knowledge through the academy, and essentially that allows you to outperform the market. So once you've completed it, you can fully apply the concepts learned, and you can start relying on the market rate. Now, if you're not confident in your abilities at the start, then obviously you put more of your earnings into your index fund, so you can always have that minimum downside return on investment. And then as you start to get better and more confident in your trading, you start feeding your trading account. Then with experience and a multi-asset portfolio, which basically means you've got a trading account where you're trading multiple things, currencies, stocks, bonds, you could be expecting returns between 20 to 50% annually. Now, this is very realistic, especially if your portfolio includes small cap stocks. So this is very famous. Warren Buffett, he said the reason that he can't make his 50% return guaranteed annually anymore because he has too much money. So it's very hard to invest in small cap stocks who essentially only have a limited number of shares available. So if you wanted to buy 1 billion shares in this company, you simply wouldn't work because they don't have that many available. So when you become too rich, it's actually harder to make these gains. So you're in a very lucky position here and a huge advantage over the bigger players because you can actually invest in these smaller cap stocks, which have great growth rates. And Warren Buffett famously said that if he was capitalized between 1 million to 10 million, he could easily achieve 50% return annually. Now, you should be aiming for that. That is your upper bound. As a trader on a leveraged account, this is achievable with experience and knowledge. Now, the next question, why is this academy an annual subscription? Very interesting, right? A lot of people enroll into university. It's a single one-off fee for the year. You could buy courses online for a few $100s. Well, why have we actually decided to go with a subscription model? Now, the reason for this is because the video tutorials that you're learning will always be built upon. We'll be providing you with content and more content regularly. So as soon as you've worked through the academy, you can come to the classes, you can start talking to us, and it allows you to still learn. You should be constantly learning. There shouldn't be any point in your life where you actually stop learning. So every year we will be releasing a new series exposing all angles of the financial markets, from stock picking, fixed income assets, commodity trading, and so on. Another point, the technology that we provide in the portal is updated on a weekly basis, meaning that you get real-time outlooks on the financial markets, with the data fees alone for this sort of technology costing around the region of £24,000 annually if you're using Bloomberg Terminal, for example. So we believe this multi-purpose annual subscription, which gives you education and access to professional technology, is excellent value for money. Because if you were to go at it alone, firstly, the data fees alone would actually cost you on the upper band around 24 grand a year. And then on the lower band, if you went with some of the cheaper options, which give you less information, that's still around £12,000 to £14,000 a year. Now, the Logikfx subscriptions are obviously a lot more affordable compared to that, and we manipulate the data for you. So we believe this is excellent value for money for retail traders and allows them to start trading like professionals, whilst still retaining a sensible business model on our end and still retaining that integrity of information and data handling that are used in institutions. So there's no skimping on the quality here, but the price is now actually affordable. And this is why Logikfx seemed like a logical venture for myself and my peers who could have continued working in funds and making money for other people when we obviously took the initiative to see the gap in the market here. So at the end of the day, this is an income stream for myself and my employees at Logikfx. Now, the research and development, it doesn't come cheap, but we are trying our best here to make it accessible to everyone around us and all the retail traders who are actually looking to profit from the markets. And this is the best way to do it. Now, what broker do you recommend? So I actually get this question asked a lot throughout trading. It's really easy to sort of answer. We have no ties with brokerages. There's reasons for that because their job is essentially just to transact orders. As long as they're FCA regulated, they offer wide instruments, and that's not musical instruments here. I'm not talking about guitars and pianos. What I'm talking about is the assets that they offer. Do they offer currencies? Do they offer equities? Do they offer bonds? Do they offer fixed income? Is it all leverage? Can you buy the underlying asset? That's all you're looking for. Do your own research. Google it. It's not that hard. But one thing is important to make sure here, and that's they are regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. Now, the reason for this is if they're not, they could just literally run away with your money. You deposit your money and they won't let you withdraw, and there's no repercussions here because especially if they're an offshore company and they're based in somewhere like Cyprus or, in the Maldives or whatnot, then there's no obligation for them to actually give you money back. And the law and the FCA and the Financial Ombudsman Service can't actually help you. So if they're FCA regulated, you're protected up to £80,000. So if the broker was to liquidate or to run off with your money, they can actually help you and get that money back for you. End of the day, brokers are all middlemen. It's a business for them. They're looking to make money off your poor trading. And what I mean by this is actually they make more money if you lose money. discuss this in the academy also, and we actually reveal how brokers' revenue stream, how it's made up of 5 different segments. You got your financing turn, your OTC gain, you've got your spread and revenue, and obviously your commissions. And what you'll realize is that they actually have agendas, and they have an A and B book. And an A and B book means an A client is a losing client, a B client is a winning client. If you're an A client and you're losing money, they make more money from you. And it's a long process to go through, but that's why they don't actually care about how well you can trade. They push you with advertising, they push you with false education, because their interest is you're going to lose money anyway, so they're just going to give you a load of hogwash. So if you're watching their tutorials and thinking you can trade with that, I'm sorry to break it to you, well, you've just fallen for their trap, because that's the way they make the most money if you lose. So knowing that, all you need from a broker is somewhere to actually sit there and place your orders, not to do your research and whatnot. That's done outside in Excel, government reports, pulling data on economies. That's done by yourself outside of your brokerage, and then you just go into your brokerage to literally execute the order. You want somewhere that's regulated, wide variety of instruments to service your portfolio. Nothing more, nothing less. Do some research and you'll be good to go. And whatever you do, don't take your trade ideas from a broker. You just end up like 90% of the losing dumb money bracket that's currently out there. So if you don't know, famous statistic, brokers actually legally have to show it now. Between I've seen as high as 95% on certain brokers are losing clients, and the lowest being around 75%. So this just goes to show how they're purposely encouraging clients that lose money, because that's how they make money. 60% of a broker's revenue, fun fact, is spent on marketing to refeed the supply of customers that they have, because after a short period of time, like 1 to 3 months, the clients that they get, they lose all their money and they basically demonize trading, never come back. So what they have to do is have huge marketing budgets to resupply the traders that they have and keep growing in that sense. So they don't care about you staying, all they care about is new clients. Start thinking about the brokers in that sort of sense, and you'll find out it's pretty easy which ones to choose. As long as they've got a track record and they can you can withdraw money from them and they're regulated, you're good to go. Now the last point, how can I be eligible for mentoring? Briefly touched upon this before. Mentoring is only available if you're enrolled into the academy, of course, and it's literally designed to accelerate your learning and actually can sort of apply to this in your portal. So should be a button there where you can click it, and you'll have to answer a series of questions, click apply, and then we'll get back to you if we have a slot available. Now, it's a 3-month intensive program with online video calls and performance tracking to show you where to improve, where you're sort of struggling, and if you haven't noticed you're struggling there, we will outline that for you and obviously help you get up the curve. Now that pretty much should answer most of your questions. Now, if you still have any, please email our support team, who will be happy to help. Now, the email should be somewhere on the screen. Yep, support@logikfx.com. So if you just drop them an email with any of your questions, we'll try to get back to you as fast as possible. Now, if you're still unsure about joining the academy, I suggest that you just check out our free material. We have a lot of it on Spotify, on YouTube, and you can literally look at through all the playlists, all the information there, and trying to see what we're all about. We're genuine people here, and what we're trying to do is achieve a genuine goal of getting people to learn how to trade, because it's a really valuable skill set that if you put the time in now, for the rest of your life, you can reap the absolute excellent rewards. And this is what we're here. And we've actually supplied the first 4 lessons of the Currency Academy for free. So there's actually a YouTube playlist. It's this link here. You can either sit there, pause the video and copy that into your browser, or if you just search Logikfx on your YouTube search bar, will come up with some videos, and then or you go into our channel, obviously click subscribe because we need subscribers. But apart from that, click on a playlist, and then on the playlist, just choose the one that says Investment Academy, and you'll be able to start learning straight away. Now, that's everything. I hope to see you in the Logikfx Academy, and yeah, any questions, please feel free to message us. And this is just a sort of taste of what you can actually learn through the Logikfx Investment and Trading Academy.